Hi everybody, this is our next training exercise for Microsoft Excel Tutorial 8, which is Advanced If Function. As you can recall, in our last training exercise we looked at if statements, which is whereby we had a condition in the actual formula itself which satisfied, gave us a statement as to whether that condition was satisfied or not. So just as a quick recap, we had an if function. If the cell B2 had yes, then the result would be sale. If it did not have the word yes, then we were going to provide them with no sale. And then within that, we had two types. We had an and and an or. So we had two different options, whereby if one or both of them were satisfied, then the result would be either positive or negative. We're going to take it a step up in this next exercise in tutorial 8 and look at definitions as well. So it's a little bit more complicated. So first things first, we are going to put in some information about our commissions that we're going to be paying these employees. So in cell A7, we're going to type in the word COM1, which stands for Commission 1, and we're going to award that Commission 1 as being 5%, and the next one being COM2. This time round, it is going to be 1.5%. As follows. This part of the exercise is the most important. We need to define these cells. Okay, so what we're going to essentially do is select B7, go to find the definition. I'm going to go to formulas, definition managers over here. So I'm going to go to define name, and I'm going to accept that being COM1. It's actually meant to be B7, not A7. So I'm going to just cancel this. I want to highlight B7, which contains our percentage, 5%. Then go to the definitions, the define manager, and then have COM1 being the name. So basically, what I'm essentially doing is I'm giving this cell a definition. So if this name COM1 is written in any of the formulas that we're going to soon enter in, it's going to look up the percentage. So COM1 refers to this cell being B7, which has a percentage of 5%. I'm going to OK that. I'm going to go into the next one, which is our 1.5%. And I'm going to go to definitions again. And this time around, COM2. So if I type in COM2 in any of my formulas, it's going to refer to this cell which has B8, which has 1.5%. So as the text. So I'm going to click on OK. So I've done my definitions now. That's 8.1. 8.2, setting up numerical if function analysis. So I'm going to create a column. In G, I'm going to give this a heading. And I'm going to give it a heading of gross sales. And I'm going to put in $5,000 for Richard, $12,000 for Caroline. Accept that, I'll try again. My keyboard stopped responding. That works. Why doesn't this work? Oh, here we go. Let's try again. Let's Fine, 1200. 12,000. Sharon being 8,000. Being 15,000. Over the page. Then I put another column in. This time around we're going to have commission as the heading. And I'm going to put a formula. And this formula is going to work out the percentage. So I'm going to go equals sign. All our formulas start off with an equals sign. It's going to be an if function. Once again, we're going to open up our brackets. G2, which contains the gross sale amount. Now, if this cell, or the amount in this cell, is greater than, I'm going to put that greater than symbol. I'm going to go shift. Greater than or equals to 8,000. If their gross sales do equal more than 8,000, comma, I'm going to award them a commission. And the commission is going to be calculated by looking at the information in G2, cell G2, which has a total sales, gross sales, multiplied by COM1. Now, remember when we defined cell B7, we defined it by the name COM1. So when you type in COM1 here in our formula, it automatically looks up this value. And that's the reason why it's highlighted. Now put a comma, and if the value is not greater than 8,000, then the result's going to be 0. We close our brackets and hit enter. Now, because our gross sales are 5,000, it's given us a value of 0 because it's obviously under 8,000. Whereas over here, it should give us a commission. So if we drop down, if we bring that down now, drag that formula down, you'll notice that that amount multiplied by 5% should give us 600. And that amount is also equal to the formula rate of 8,000. There's a commission involved, and there is a commission involved here as well. Okay, so that's essentially what we're hoping to see in terms of 8.2. Now we'll look at 8.3, which is a nested if function. The nested if functions exist where there's two arguments within the one if function formula, and we're going to trial that out using a little bit more of a complicated formula here. So what it says is overwrite the function in the commission column H2 with the following formula. Okay, let's delete all this. Let's start again. So we go equals if open brackets G2 is greater than or equals to 12,000, comma, then they'll get a commission, which is calculated by total sales, which is G2, multiplied by COM1, which is the 5%. If not, okay, previously we had 0, but in this instance, right, there's another argument, that's why it's called nested. So we go if again, we're going to put another argument in. If G2 greater than or equals to 8,000. Okay, so if they're not going to earn more than that, right, then we're going to give them another commission percentage. But for them to get that other commission, they still need to earn a gross sale of more than 8,000, comma, G2 multiplied COM2 in this instance. 1.5%, comma, 0. So if they earn less than the 8,000, then their commission will be 0. And we have to put two closing brackets because we have two if function statements in this formula. We click on OK. So obviously in this instance, because they're under the 8,000, there is no commission once again. This person will get the 600, 1,200, and 50. Now, commissions are less because previously we had commission 1 being 5% awarded to all over 8,000. Whereas now if you get paid, if you make a gross sale of more than 12,000, then your commission will be COM1. You'll get a less commission payable if you're between 8,000 to 12,000. You get the 1.5. Okay, so those that are under this amount, so for example this one here, gets paid the less amount. So that's nested function. Okay, so just over the page there, gives an explanation and the results, the answers, which is correct. So the next exercise, additional supplementary practice exercise. The following exercises 1 to 5 enable the practice of formulas, functions, and calculations we've so far covered. So it's asking us to create a new worksheet. So I'm going to click on new, worksheet 6 being a new worksheet. Enter the details from the table in table 1 from A1. So it's asking us to put in the following headings. So employee name, employment type, gross sales, bonus, fixed, gross, monthly, superannuation or super withheld, union fees withheld, taxation at 30%, and net pay. So we've tried to make this exercise as real life as possible so that you have an understanding as to how these spreadsheets can be used in the workplace. So I'm just going to make these columns a little bit wider so we can clearly see what they're referred to. I'm going to go to home here, make them bold as follows. What you can also do is if you double click, it actually automatically makes the cell, the column large enough to fit the information. Okay, so that's that. We also need to put in our employee names. So type that out as well. So M Brian. K Davis. H Jacobs. T Tang. P Matia. B Roberts. And N Henry. And the employment type. So P stands for part-time. C is for casual. P, C, FT for full-time. C casual, full-time, and part-time. And then we've got gross sale amounts as well. 2,000, 1,000, 1,700, 2,300, 3,200, 1,300, 2,600. Look at how long we've gone in the video. We're going to leave the bonus column empty for now. We've got a fixed gross monthly. That amount there, 1,240, 1,600, 1,300, 700, 1,650, 2,380. Now, first things first, we're going to work out a formula to work out our bonuses. This form is going to go into column D2. So we're going to go equals if, open brackets, and it's going to be an and, so there's going to be two conditions that need to be met. And if the column, sorry, the cell C2 is going to be greater than 2,000, comma, or, open brackets, B2, which is a type of employment, is equal to, for full-time, close exclamation marks, comma, B2 again, equals part-time. So they have to be working full-time or part-time to get a bonus. Put two. We're going to close it. We're going to put two brackets here because there's two parts of this formula. Then there is going to be bonus of $450. If they don't meet any of these conditions, they're going to get zero. So what this formula does is it looks for gross sales, and if the person made $2,000 or more in gross sales, and they're full-time or part-time, then we're going to get a bonus of $450. So if the person's a casual, or they get less than 2,000, or equals to 2,000, because it has to be greater than. We didn't put an equal sign, we just put a greater than sign. So we're going to accept that formula and saying that there's a mistake here. Let's see if we can pick it up. Open brackets, and C2, comma, or, okay, that looks okay. I'm going to drag that down and see what happens. Now I'm looking at this here, so they're all under 2,000, so hence they're going to be getting nothing. This person made more than 2,000, but because they're casual, they still don't get a bonus. On this occasion, because they've made more than the 2,000, 3,200, and they're full-time, they do get a bonus. Under here, they've made more than the 2,000, but they're also part-time, which fits the criteria, hence they get the bonus. That's the first bonus formula that we want to enter in. The second one is to calculate superannuation and union fees. We're going to enter in the details for the calculation of these entitlements. So we're going to type out table type employment superannuation rate and union fee rate. All those headings. So I've got casual, 9%, $4, permanent, part-time, 9%, and $6. And permanent, full-time, still the same percentage, super being 9%, but $8 in terms of union. Okay, so now we're going to calculate superannuation withheld. We'll pop a formula into here. It's just to create a formula that will calculate the amount of superannuation needs to be withheld from each employee. Superannuation is calculated based on 9% of the fixed gross monthly pay and the bonus. An employee must earn more than $450 gross monthly to be entitled to superannuation. Okay, so let's put the formula in now. So we get equals. It's going to be a if function once again. So if. Now, just a side note here. Don't try to put pressure on yourself to memorize these formulas. That is not required. It's not part of this exercise. Is not for you to memorize any formulas. It's for you to understand the functions of the formulas and what the formulas do. If you're going to be in a setting where you're going to be required to use Excel and create formulas, you're going to have to refer back to your training exercises in order to implement the formulas once again. So I've had students in the past, try to memorize each and every formula or think that they're expected to memorize the formulas. That's not the case. So coming back to the formula, if E2, which is our monthly fixed gross monthly pay, is greater than $450. Remember we mentioned earlier that they have to earn more than $450 to get super. So if it is $450, they meet that criteria, then we are going to add that plus their bonus and multiply that. So close that. We're going to add those two amounts and we're going to multiply that by the 9%, which is here. And if they haven't earned more than $450, then they are not entitled to superannuation. So it'll be 0. Now this, because this person has earned more than $450, they are entitled. So it's going to add this and the amounts in here and here together and multiply it by 9% in order to work out the superannuation. I'm having a quick look here. E5 plus E5, E5 plus D5 multiplied by B15. Okay. Now we have covered absolute. Okay, so what we need to do is this cell here needs to be absolute because we always want it to refer to 9%. We don't want the formula to change its position once we copy and paste it down the row of cells. That's the reason why this didn't calculate correctly. So I've made it absolute. I've accepted that. First one's going to stay the same. If I apply that to the rest of the cells, you'll notice that superannuation is withheld for the remaining. All of our employees have received more than $450, hence they're entitled to superannuation. So that's superannuation. Now let's put a formula to calculate our union fees. Union fees coming over here. So we're going to go equals if, open brackets, B2. So if B2 equals casual, which stands for C, then the union fee rate is going to be $4. Now remember, if we do this, we need to make it absolute. If we actually refer to this particular cell. So to make it absolute, we need to put the dollar signs in. Okay, so I'm going to come back and put the dollar signs in here. Okay, so now we put a comma. We put the next condition. So if B2 is equal to part-time, then in this instance, it's going to be 6. No, that's not 1. 6. Once again, we need to put the dollar signs in. Make it absolute. Comma. If B2 is equal to full-time, then it's going to be 8. Dollar signs in front of this one as well to make it absolute. Now we've got 3 conditions within this if function. So I'm going to therefore put 3 closing brackets and hit OK. Now here, because they're part-time, okay, it's 6. As you can see here, permanent part-time 6. So if we apply that down now, and for example over here, person is full-time, and the union rate for full-time employees is $8. Whereas here, because they're casual union fee is $4. So that worked out nicely. Now we'll calculate our taxation. Now this one doesn't require a function because The taxation is basically 30% of how much they've earned. It's going to be equals how much they've earned, which is E2 plus any bonuses times multiplication sign 30%, which is 0.30. So that's relatively straightforward, this one. Now, our net pay is going to be as follows. Our net pay is going to be equals how much money they've earned, which is E2 plus D2, which is their bonuses. We need to take that away from F2, which is superannuation, which is withheld, and H2. So, superannuation, union fees, taxes need to be taken out from how much money they've earned, which is their fixed monthly grossly pay and their bonuses. So that formula, sum, open brackets, cell reference, adds all the cells from F2 to H2. Adds those three cells and it takes it away from these two cells. And to make it easy to understand, the actual software highlights the cells it refers to in terms of a color reference. So click on OK. That looks about correct. Drag that down. Now, if you have a look at the training exercise here, we do have the answers already provided. And looking at this here, it is actually accurate. So that concludes the advanced part of if functions. Now, just once again, just to reinstate that, this exercise essentially highlights to you how this can be used. It could be fairly over the top in terms of typically what most users would need to use Excel, Microsoft Excel for. But it's a good training exercise for you just to get an idea as to how these formulas do operate and how they work. So thanks for listening, and we will look at pivot tables in the next training session. Once again, this is an intermediate to advanced function within Excel. So yeah, we'll talk then.